Rogue Israeli tourist is taken into custody by Immigration Bureau police prior to deportation. The 29-year-old tested negative for COVID-19 consistently at Samui Hospital last week despite conflicting reports from Bangkok that he tested positive first for the Delta variant and later for the Omicron strain. Ohan Baruch, however, broke the emergency decree imposed by a 2005 law, which is the basis for the powers exercised by authorities to impose the test-and-go entry regime for foreign tourists, which, although paused for new applications until the 4th of January at the earliest, continues to see tourist arrivals enter Thailand, accounting for 90,000 people who were approved to arrive up to the 10th of January before its suspension. The ordeal of the Israeli tourist who broke with the test-and-go travel protocols, breaking Thailand's emergency decree on the 18th of December last, continued on Wednesday, when a criminal court in Bangkok fined him $2,000 after he submitted a guilty plea, and was then handed over to the Immigration Bureau for detention before his deportation from Thailand. 29-year-old rogue Israeli tourist Ohan Baruch was transported to Bangkok on Tuesday night and held by police at Thong Law Station prior to appearing before the Bangkok South Municipal Court on Wednesday, which fined him just $2,000 after a guilty plea to charges relating to breach of the emergency decree. He was then taken into custody by Immigration Bureau police before his deportation from Thailand. The Israeli tourist who went rogue on the 18th of December last appeared before the Bangkok South Municipal Court on Wednesday, facing charges related to a breach of the emergency decree after absconding on the 18th of December from his hotel room in Bangkok without waiting for his COVID-19 PCR test as required under the test-and-go entry regime for foreign tourists. 29-year-old Ohan Baruch was arrested by police after officers at Thong Law Police Station applied for and were issued a warrant from the court on the 21st of December. Arrest warrant issued for rogue Israeli tourist on the same day as test-and-go new approvals were paused. This was the same day that saw the Center for COVID-19 Situation Administration, CCSA, suspend further approvals under the test-and-go regime, which allowed foreign tourists from 63 countries to enter Thailand subject to just an overnight stay and a negative PCR test. Despite the pausing of approvals, a further 90,000 foreign tourists are expected to enter Thailand until the 10th of January next, with the scheme set to be reviewed again on the 4th of January in the context of a rising Omicron threat, confirmed local transmission of the new, more infectious virus strain, and mounting evidence worldwide that it is substantially less severe. Pleaded guilty to charges in court and was handed over to Immigration Bureau police for deportation. In court, on Wednesday, the Israeli man pleaded guilty to several charges and was fined $2,000. However, this did not bring an end to the ordeal for the former holidaymaker, as afterwards, he was handed over to the custody of Immigration Bureau police for detention before his deportation from Thailand for breaking the kingdom's laws. Visitors warned of the deadly danger of working in Thailand without a proper visa and valid work permit. UK man claims FBI investigating the death of 41-year-old American held at Thai immigration jail in May. Conditions at the Immigration Bureau's detention center in Bangkok are notoriously overcrowded, with several foreigners reported to have died while in custody after being arrested for immigration offenses. Surrendered to Ko Samui officials on the 22nd of December, the Israeli surrendered to police and government officials on Ko Samui on the 22nd of December by arrangement after he had made contact with the Israeli embassy in central Bangkok. On the run, Israeli tourist tracked down to Ko Samui, surrenders to authorities, taken to hospital. Having arrived on the 17th of December, the visitor failed to stay overnight at his hotel, which was already paid for, to receive his virus test result. Instead, he set off for Pattaya, where he had trouble checking into a hotel without his passport. It was reported, at the time, that his test result was positive for COVID-19 with the Delta variant. He subsequently returned to Bangkok and took a minivan to Chumphan on Sunday the 19th before arriving on Ko Samui on Monday, the 20th of December. Breached the 2005 emergency decree legal provision and public health measures or regulatory orders laid down under Section 9 of the Act used since 2020. Police Colonel Duanchotsu Wancharis, the superintendent of Thong Law Police Station, on Wednesday, confirmed the accused man's guilty plea in response to charges against him in court, including a violation of essential COVID-19 public health measures under Section 9 of the 2005 law, the Emergency Decree on Public Administration in Emergency Situations. The police chief also confirmed that Mr. Baruch was taken into custody by Immigration Bureau Police after his court appearance. Deportation in Thailand is not instantaneous and often involves liaison between the deported person and his or her embassy to verify the appropriate flight reservations, which have to be paid for in full by or on behalf of the person being deported prior to the detained person being escorted to the airport and sent on their way. Tested negative for COVID-19 repeatedly after being held in isolation at Samui Hospital over Christmas following his rendezvous with police on Ko Samui on the 22nd of December last, Mr. Baruch was taken by ambulance to Samui Hospital where he was held in isolation. He subsequently tested negative for COVID-19 in 3 consecutive tests despite reports from Bangkok suggesting at first that he had the Delta variant of the COVID-19 disease, and later unconfirmed reports that it was the Omicron strain. The Israeli man was flown to Bangkok on Monday the 27th of December from Samui aboard Bangkok Airways flight PG 172 and arrived at Suvarnabhumi Airport at 10 p.m. He was handed over to Thong Law Police, who held him in custody before his court appearance on Wednesday. Omicron sparking growing unease about incoming tourists as a local outbreak in Kalasin grows. Under the 2005 law, the foreign tourist could have faced a maximum fine of 40,000 and up to 2 years in prison. The 29-year-old's actions have sparked alarm in Thailand, where the government and the population are warily watching the emerging situation and the threat posed by the Omicron variation of the virus. There are already over 250 locally transmitted cases, driven in large part by 2 superspreaders, a husband and wife who arrived back to Thailand's northeastern Kalasin province on the 11th of December from Belgium.